gonna head out about 40 minutes to Buffalo Trace, one of the most well-known distilleries in the world. We're gonna check out what they've got going on there, and then we'll kind of work our way back to Lexington.
Kentucky's known for three things: college basketball, horse racing, and bourbon. That beautiful brown liquor that can only be made in America and only be aged in brand spanking new charred oak barrels. The bourbon boom has grown the business into a $9 billion per year behemoth for the Commonwealth.
Welcome to Bourbon Mecca of the world, all right?
And no one does bourbon better than Buffalo Trace. Each day, a few hundred customers line up outside their gift shop to buy a bottle.
You know, after you have bourbon the first time and you get that little something, you start to understand, and then it just keeps bringing you back, bringing you back.
Me and my dad have just had our little moment. Instead of like going and doing something else, bourbon drinking is our father-daughter time. It's great.
First, we're kicking it off with some just little barrel socks. You got to start there, right? Then just have a plethora of brands represented on the pants, and then our, tried and true Blantons. So I'm gonna have to look to see if there's like a Taylor sweater to get in there for today.
To truly understand the draw of the drink, we had to bring in a Whiskey Hall of Famer. Freddie, the most famous man in Buffalo Trace.
Dan, how in the heck have you been?
I'm well. This is Freddie Johnson, a big name in bourbon, a third-generation employee of Buffalo Trace. He's a walking, talking, picture-taking bourbon almanac in a comfortable-looking brown jacket.
95% of the world's bourbon is made in Kentucky. Why is that?
Because it's good.
Well, that we know.
It's really just time in a barrel.
Yeah.
Mother Nature and Father Time doing their thing.
The smell. This is why you come to Kentucky.
That's the char. We've charred the barrels on the inside. These barrels are waiting to be filled. Monday, by the end of the day, all of these barrels will be full of bourbon. It's whiskey coming off the still, but it's not bourbon until it touches the inside of that newly charred barrel.
Distilling began here all the way back in the 1790s. 235 years later, they make many of the most sought-after bourbons in the world. Pappy Van Winkle, George T. Stagg, E.H. Taylor. No, they're not railroad barons, but you can find them aging gracefully in Warehouse D.
So barrels in a warehouse are just like real estate, location, location, location. So in here, it's like a production line. So you've got old barrels and you've got new barrels. So you can hear, all right, so you're losing 3 to 5% per year, and so the longer you leave it in here, the less you're going to have. You only have about 5 gallons left in the barrel, and you started with 53.
What's your favorite thing about bourbon?
The opportunity to spend some time with someone you enjoy their company. It's a good bourbon is just a sipping bourbon. You don't shoot it, and you don't bring it out with people you don't like. So,
Bourbon's meant to be shared.
It is.
As
it
we
is.
say.
But you want to share good bourbon.
And with good people.
Yes.
Right?
They may not remember the pour, but Dan, they'll always remember how you made them feel by letting them know they're just as special as everyone else in the room.
The best part about the Kentucky Bourbon Trail is the individual beauty of each distillery. On our way back to Lexington is Castle and Key, the home of a 534-foot rack house, the longest of its kind in the world, holding more than 35,000 barrels of brown liquor. You'll also find a barrel for thieving, which is the process of removing the bunghole of a barrel and pulling out your own bourbon, which is a lot more difficult than it looks.
Boom. Let's do it like you mean it.
I think we're running out of booze.
Or we need a new host.
Oh, of course. That was by far the best one, and you were on my face. Well, that was a good one.
Yeah.
That's mine.
This unbelievable selfishness. With a light on my head.
And what's your review? Give us your review.
It is lovely. It is really, really. The chill is.
Yeah, the chill is nice.
The chill is really nice.
Back in Lexington, James E. Pepper distills the magic of bourbon making into one building.
Basically moonshine.
Their booze is distilled, filled, and bottled, all in-house.
Strong. So what am I trying here?
So you're trying a single barrel proof, straight out of the barrel bourbon.
Oh my God, that's so smooth.
That's good. It is.
that is unbelievably smooth. Across the street from Pepper sits RD1, with an owner you may find roaming the sidelines Saturdays in the fall.
It is the off season, and I'm allowed to enjoy some good Kentucky bourbon here.
Any sort of off-season
cheers.
that exists in college football, although there doesn't seem to be much of one.
Not much of one these days, that's for sure.
All right,
But
well, cheers.
Cheers.
What makes a good bourbon? What goes into that?
Just something that tastes good for me.
Okay.
I'm just a simple football coach, but I'm living in Kentucky for 12 years. You obviously acquire a taste for the bourbon, and so when in Rome, right?
How do you define a sports town?
Well, I think
I'm going to keep drinking.
Yeah, you go right ahead and enjoy yourself. I think the first thing with a sports town is where everybody gets into it. One thing I love about this place is that they are all in the Kentucky Wildcats in every sport. I obviously travel around and have to recruit and hit different parts of the country, and everybody's interested in Kentucky bourbon, hitting the bourbon trail, and coming and watching some horse racing.
So is Lexington, Kentucky the #1 sports town in America?
Well, I don't think there's any question that Lexington is the #1 sports town. Just take a good look around and take in some games, and I think you will see that.
Thanks so much for watching. Our show, SportsTown, really only gets made because of people like you. So please subscribe, like, and engage with us, and please send the show and our content to people who you think may like it.